All right, so the Phillies lose 2 of 3 to the Los Angeles Angels. And I kept looking at this series, and I'm going, the Angels have a better hitting team than the Phillies. I mean, did anybody come to that conclusion? That the Angels, top to bottom, have a better offense than the Phillies? And that worried me because I'm trying to think that the Phillies lineup is pretty decent to go with their starting pitching staff, that they're a really good team. And they go through some rough spots every now and then, but they're still going to be in the playoffs, and they may get a 1 or 2 seed out of this whole thing. But their offense seems to be lacking for me. And I'm looking at the Angels and go, these guys swing the bat, man. They swing the bat. They swing the bat for power, and they wound up winning 2 or 3 from the Phillies. So here's the ramifications of all that. We got a Ranger Suarez situation now. I know a lot of people look at this and go, he'll bounce back. He might bounce back. He might not. It's the same pattern as last year, though, where he reaches a certain plateau of innings and then he gets a little weaker. And by weaker, I mean his velocity gets down. And he lost total command yesterday, where he usually has pinpoint command. Now, we can wipe that away, or we can go, oh man, he did the same thing last year. And if we're relying on this staff to bring him through, he's got to be a key member of that staff. And so we have to ask ourselves, will this be the trend, or will he bounce back? Ray Dunn is with me today. Ray, I want to get your feelings after you watched Ranger yesterday, and you saw the Phillies offense compared to the Los Angeles Angels. We'll handle that first of all.
All right, started with Ranger and the command concerns. That's absolutely there. I think the command concerns, to me, it's there from yesterday. Will that be a game-in, game-out thing? I need one more start of him really struggling with command, because I think that we've seen him, and you say it right there, you trust him to be pretty pinpoint, and he hasn't yet given us the concern about his overall game, even though the velocity's been down, because he usually has that command. The velocity being down will always concern me. I understand he's going to get guys out usually, with or without his velocity, but the fact that it's down, the fact that he's got the history that he does with the back, that to me will always bother me. The fact he was on a pitch count going into the All-Star break, where they're like, only 80, 85 pitches because the back's flaring up again, and then he has this start, that's a red flag. That's a warning sign for me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think his season's done, everything's falling apart. I know there's the part of this fan base that's like, trade him all you can, trade him all you can. I'm not going down any of those paths, but to tell you I'm not concerned would be lying to you. I mean, I think that out of yesterday, when the command goes for him, he doesn't have the velocity to get guys out. And that's just the truth of him all the time. Without velocity or command, you get results like you did yesterday. So that's a concern for me, certainly moving forward.
All right, you brought up something that's really interesting. You wouldn't think of trading him. Sometimes you got to get ahead of the curve, right? If you suspect that he is kind of going to drift off here, why would you not consider moving him as a rental to somebody who would be very interested in taking him as a rental?
If you signal to everyone that all of a sudden, 10 days before the deadline, Ranger Suarez is available, what does that say about how you feel about Ranger Suarez's health, and what is a team that's only getting him as a rental going to give you back in exchange for Ranger Suarez?
I don't know, but it may say that you just can't afford him next year. He's represented by Scott Boras, and that's why we're doing it. That's what you can rely on, can't you?
Again, he has not been someone they were going to trade all this time. 10 days before the deadline, you're like, we're going to give him up to you because we can't afford him, but don't ignore the fact that we're in a playoff hunt and he's one of our starters and he's been one of the better pitchers of baseball. Ignore the fact of that, because that's clearly a reason why we would want to keep him, and he would be valuable to us in the stretch run.
The counter is I got plenty of starters.
Do you?
Well, yeah. I got 4 starters. Even if I trade him, I got 4 starters. Don't I?
I mean, I guess right now you count Walker as one of those starters.
Well, you got Luzardo, you got Wheeler, you got Nola, and you got Sanchez.
Nola's not healthy yet.
Well, he's going to come back. He'll be back. I got 4 starters.
And last year at the deadline, you said Walker was going to come back and be the 5th.
Well, I don't believe in Walker. I believe in the other guys.
But what I'm telling you is that you're making that trade assuming perfect health for Nola coming back, assuming that you're going to be able to cobble together. Like, I have a guy I know can start for us.
Somewhere along the line, I got to take a shot. And taking a shot here, if I really believe If the hierarchy goes, you know why he hits this wall, he's weaker at this stage of the year. What are we going to get out of him for the rest of the year? I don't know. Listen, I'm pulling out all the stops here because I think the Phillies really need to make some moves here. So let's talk about the move they did make. They signed 50-year-old David Robertson. 40-year-old David Robertson for the third time because they looked at him in a workout and they liked what they saw in the workout, which did not include pitching against live hitters, I assume. So David Robertson I guess it can't hurt. How much could it help? Will he be I guess he would be a better alternative than the Joe Rosses of the world that they throw in there in the 6th or 7th inning, right?
Yeah. I would agree with that.
You're okay with that signing?
I like the signing.
You do?
I don't think if this is it, then we're in trouble. If this is the big bullpen acquisition that they make to try and bolster the second half of this season, then you're in trouble. Because that's not what he is. Mm-hmm. But a guy that last season had a 3 ERA, struck out 99 guys over 70-something innings, I'm good with it. I like the signing. You were the team out of, I think it was 9 teams he threw for, all of them pretty much contenders. Mm-hmm. He was a guy that people wanted to check out, wanted to see what he did. A lot of people seem to have liked the workout that he put together. You throw him into this bullpen, and unfortunately for this bullpen, he becomes probably your 3rd or 4th best guy right off the jump because that's where you're at. Like this is where you're at getting bullpen help. You don't give up a prospect. It's not money out of my wallet, so I'm good to see him go get him.
Okay. All right. So you're okay with that. Now, Alec Bohm looks like he's going to be out a month with broken ribs. Okay. Your thoughts?
That's where we're at.
All right. So will he be able to hold down the fort?
Swung the bat well yesterday, but, I mean, you're talking about replacing a guy in Alec Bohm that since, the beginning of May, since he really came out of that terrible funk, he's been one of the better hitters for this team at 290. It's going to be tough to replace him regardless of who it is. Would I prefer, honestly, that Sosa gets those opportunities first? Probably. But if they want to see what they have at Kemp, I guess that's the route we're going to go.
All right. Well, we'll see about that. And yet, the Phillies remain in that first-place area in the NL East because no one else can actually take control. And by no one else, I mean the Mets. So, I don't know. How much should we worry? But there is an interesting little story that John Middleton was quoted in. And we're going to get into his quotes on the other side because it didn't seem like he wants to pull out all the stops. And that worries me. It worries me that the Phillies are in a position where I believe they have to pull out all the stops, and maybe they're reluctant to pull out all the stops. I don't know. We got one report saying Dave Dombrowski's going to be ultra aggressive. The other, the owner, is saying, I'm not so fast, my friends. So I don't know what's going on. So this show will also include, there's a story where Dan Graziano, ESPN football man, says it's the Commanders' turn to win the division. We're going to go over the Commanders' schedule to see if that's possible. I don't think it is possible. I don't think the Commanders win more games than the Eagles this year. So I think this is one of those deals where these pundits are going to come out. They're going to try to get the flavor of the month, the hot team. The Commanders, they're the hot team. And then, you say the Commanders are going to win the division, and if they don't win the division, nobody remembers it anyway. So it's like one of those fake predictions. But one of those bold, look at me predictions that may not come about, but nobody will care about it anyway. 610-632-0975. And it's also the 20th anniversary of T.O. in the driveway. Coming up, right? 20th anniversary of T.O.?
In a few weeks.
So we'll touch on that a little bit because I remember it vividly. And I blame the Eagles for that whole debacle. I don't blame T.O. You can't blame an insane man for his insanity. You got to blame the sane people for dealing with the insanity. That's my position on it. We'll talk about it. It's the Mike Missanelli Show with Ray Dunn, and we're back after this.
Thanks for watching. I love these outro videos because I can actually talk with my hands and it looks normal here. So subscribe right here and watch some more videos for us. How about it?